I'm with Vincent Jackson from Colorado Springs, Colorado, but not really, because your parents were both in the Army. You moved around a lot, right? What was it like growing up as an Army brat?
It was pretty unique. I look back on it and I think it's a pretty good experience for me. It allowed me to experience some different cultures. I was born in Fort Polk, Louisiana. I lived there till I was about 7 or so. Then we spent a year in Phoenix, and then we went overseas and stayed in Germany and Bavaria for about 3 years. And I was able to travel around, go to Paris, Italy, Czechoslovakia, some of the surrounding countries. That's pretty much where my first exposure to sports, because when you're in a foreign country and stuff, you pretty much have to get involved in the American institutions there. And so my parents both work full time, and they would, after school, I would just go over to the youth centers and, join the after school activities like that. Always education first, school first. I grew up, graduated high school with a 4.1, pretty much straight A's through school. And
didn't you have a scholarship from Columbia?
I did. That was pretty much one of the two schools that I was thinking about, Northern Colorado or Columbia up in New York. And, I had a lot more financial aid actually with my academics than I did with, athletics.
You worked some odd jobs in high school. What did you do, and was that at the impetus of your parents that you did that?
Yeah, growing up, you're about 13, 14 years old. You start getting that stage where, you want some new basketball shoes and you want to have the nice clothes going to school. So if I wanted those things, my parents were like, you know what, you're 14 now, you're old enough to go get a job. And so, yes, my first job was at a Super 8, cleaning rooms. It's because one of my best friends, his grandfather was a manager there. And so it was kind of easy to get a job there. I could never get one of those cool jobs like at the mall or working at Foot Locker or something like that. I always had some odd jobs. So I worked Super 8. From there, I also did like telephone sales, you're doing the cold calls. I worked at an airport, Colorado Springs Airport. I was a cook there in the restaurant. Delivered Domino's pizza. It was pretty shady, how we did it. You're in a van, you have a supervisor, and how they kind of lured people in was they'd go to the door with like a bottle of detergent, and we'd always do it in the middle of the day. You catch the housewives, home with the kids, and we'd offer them, a free bottle of detergent, for their opinion on a cleaning product. And so, of course, who's not going to take a big bottle of Tide or whatever? And so they take it, and then here I come running up out of the van with this big old vacuum cleaner.
You didn't end up getting recruited by a Division I school, like you said, but you went to University of Northern Colorado, and you set like every record there is, the highest draft pick out of that school. Are you glad when you look back and you have perspective, are you glad it worked out that way?
Absolutely. I think kind of being overlooked by the D1 schools, might have been a little disappointing to me at first, but, I didn't let it discourage me. It was an opportunity for me to just go out there, have fun playing basketball. I was there to get my education first. They had a great business school. I'm a business major. And, the fact that I was able to develop, later in my career, I wasn't even starting in football until my junior year. I was behind a couple other good receivers, and so it was tough. It was a tough couple first years, but I just stuck with it, continued to work on my craft, and I did kind of carry that chip on my shoulder. Like, even though I'm going to a smaller school, I believe I can play with these guys at this higher level. And when I got here, I had the same attitude, saying, even though I was a late second round guy, I felt like some of the guys drafted before me, the receivers, that I could probably be better than them someday, and I just continue to work hard.
All right, you're the locker room DJ. I want to get into that. I always love when you're playing the Johnny Cash, but you've got a good mix. Is there like a method to your madness? Do you go off the vibe of the team, or do you just do whatever you feel?
It's totally the vibe. Okay. I can see when guys are a little sluggish, a little sleepy. I need to amp it up a little bit, get it going with something faster, maybe some hip hop or some rap. But there's days too, especially after practice. We like to tone it down, kind of relax a little bit. I got some Jack Johnson, some Citizen Cope, Johnny Cash, whatever it is. You know what I mean, and just kind of mellow it out.
Best place to eat in San Diego?
Fish shop. It's Pacific Beach Fish Shop. Best seafood.
You get to pick your starting 5 basketball team from the locker room. Who do you have?
Obviously myself, Antonio Gates, Malcolm Floyd. Philip's not a bad shooter. I'd probably take Philip.
Want Philip on their team?
Exactly. He's a competitive guy. You know what I mean? Just have him spot up in the corner. We'll drive and dish, kick to him, and we'll probably have Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle's a pretty good basketball player, and he's pretty scrappy, so he'd probably be our point guard.
That's a good fighting crew. Motto or quote that you live by? Do you have one?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
One thing on your bucket list?
I think I want to do a safari, and I want to go backpacking through Europe. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe hit one of those big Europe, those soccer games, paint my face, paint my chest, just chant off for 3 hours, whatever they do. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Isn't that when they have those loud things? I forget what those called.
Zuvelas,
exactly, something Zuvelas. Yeah. Okay, look for that in the future, because if anybody sees that, someone pick that or something.
Please.
Thank you so much, Vincent. I appreciate it.
Thank you.